What is going on, my fellow Jets fans? Welcome to the latest episode of the New York Jets State of Mind podcast, coming at you as I love to do each and every week. My name is Malcolm Harper, aka MHJetsFan83. You can follow me on X, Instagram, and YouTube at MHJetsFan83. You can find my podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or Amazon Music. You can also find the video version of this podcast that will be posted on my YouTube page at MHJetsFan83. Before I get to my thoughts on Championship Sunday, an introductory press conference from Darren, Mougey, and Aaron Glenn. If you could do me a huge favor and share my podcast along with my social media account with other Jets fans, that would be greatly appreciated. Let's get to Conference Championship Sunday games yesterday, starting with the NFC Championship game. The Eagles are headed back to the Super Bowl for the second time in the last 3 years. They beat the Washington Commanders by a final score of 55-23. Two things that were the difference in this game. Saquon Barkley, he ran for 118 yards on 15 carries and had 3 rushing touchdowns, including a 60-yard TD run on the Eagles' opening drive. Jalen Hurts also ran for 3 touchdowns as well. Also, the Commanders turned the ball over 4 times as well, so that did not help either. The Commanders are going to be a problem for years to come in the NFC East. I know that is going to be a competitive division now that the Commanders are in the picture right now. They're only going to go and get better. Now, let's move over to the AFC Championship game. The Chiefs are going back to the Super Bowl for the 5th time in 6 years. They beat the Bills by the final score of 32-29. Josh Allen has played as well as the game as you possibly could imagine, even though he did miss some throws. But for the most part, he did, as he didn't turn the ball over, so that's good. But in the end, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, they prevail again. And now Josh Allen is 0-4 in his career against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. So now it's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles in Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans on February the 9th. Now, let's get to my thoughts on what happened today during the introductory press conference with Darren Mougey, the GM, and Aaron Glenn, the head coach. Let me just say this about Darren Mougey. When Denver ended up interviewing Aaron Glenn for the head coaching job in Denver a couple of years ago, I did not know he was part of that process. So he did mention that it's going to be accountability across each department and a high standard. Good foundation of players, he said as well too. Obviously, we have Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Jermaine Johnson, and Breece Hall. So all that's actually in place. But he did end up by saying, talking to us, the Jets fans, said, "You have my word that AG and I were going to pour our hearts and soul into this job, that we're going to do everything that we can to bring a Super Bowl back to the Jets." Now, let's move over to Aaron Glenn. And in my opinion, he actually won the press conference because he was authentic. He knocked it out of the park. And he first addressed the elephant in the room after he ended up thanking everybody that ended up supporting him, like his family, Bill Parcells, Al Grove, Herman Edwards. So he basically understood the task. He addressed the elephant in the room, like I said, and that was Aaron Rodgers. This was his direct quote. He said, look, he said to the Jets players, put your seatbelts on and get ready for the ride. There's going to be a challenge. And he said, listen, but from challenges comes opportunity. Here's what I do know. We're the freaking New York Jets, and we're built for this bleed. And as soon as he said that, I posted on my X account. I said, not only he had me fired up, but gave me goosebumps as well. Wow, I'm hyped. So he also said that he wanted this job. The quote that I love from Aaron Glenn, he said, there's no such thing as accountability without respectability. I like that a lot. Also, he said that this is not about Aaron Rodgers. This is about the New York Jets and the rest of the team and doing what's best for the team. Aaron Glenn says that he will not call the defense. He said he's going to leave that play calling up to his coordinators. So that tells me right there he wants to concentrate on managing the game. I say good to that. He's going to be the CEO. And he also asked, when asked by Caroline Hendershot of NewYorkJets.com, or what should players and fans know about the head coach, Aaron Glenn's leadership style. And he basically described it in one word, and he said influence. Look, Jets fans, you guys can agree with what I'm going to say. Look, Aaron Glenn's a Jet. Let's call this for what it is. He started his playing career with the Jets. He started from the bottom up as a college scout with the Jets, and now he's the head coach of the New York Jets. And this is a full circle moment for Aaron Glenn. So I'm very, very happy with the remarks that he said during the introductory press conference. So before I get on out of here, let me get to my favorite part of my podcast. And this is the new followers shout out. And as I always say, I am a man of the word, man of my word on this podcast. I'm a man of the word and I'm a man of the people. So each new follower that follows me on X, Instagram, and YouTube, you'll get a shout out. And what I want to do is I want to give a shout out to the following new followers on X: Roseanne, Explosive Diarrhea, Julian Gillard, Jets World, Chris, Max, and Jets Word. And speaking of Jets Words, he also followed me on my YouTube channel as well too. Hey, I want you guys to go follow Jets Ward because he actually started a YouTube channel and he's already published 2 videos. So make sure you go follow him as well. The first 2 videos, he has literally knocked it out of the park. So as far as Instagram goes, I don't have any brand new followers. But with that said, that's all I got. I'm just going to keep this short and sweet. So I'm signing off. I cannot thank you enough for supporting me on this podcast. Let me know in the comment section on what y'all think on the introductory press conference. Because for me, I'm just straight up fired up. So as I mentioned, when he said that we're the New York Jets and we're built for this belief, I honestly just got fired up. So that's why I have this green light right now for those of you who are actually watching me on my YouTube channel. So I'm literally fired up and I can't wait for him to see what him and GM Mougey actually going to build this roster. So with that being said, hit the like and subscribe on my YouTube channel or any of my digital platforms on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or Amazon Music. So also follow me on X and Instagram on social media. I'm going to be back next week to talk more Jets. Hopefully, we'll have more news coming to as far as who's going to be the offensive coordinator, who else is going to be added on to Aaron Glenn's staff. So with that being said, you guys take care. And as always, JETS, 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 Jets. Take care.